Hello, family. How are you doing? Welcome to Life Solutions. We are here. December is here. We made it. We made it. So I just want to say congratulations. We made it another day. You're here on Life Solutions. Welcome. Here at the Life Solutions channel, we talk about all things mental health, emotional health, well being, self care, because we care about you. And we know that you've been working hard all year, taking care of things and people and responsibilities and job stuff. And so this is just an opportunity just to highlight your well-being, your emotional self, your mental health. So here we are. And we just want to say December is here. That's a good thing, right? December. There are a lot of things happening. I just want to make you guys aware of those things. This is the first week of the last month of the year. So, of course, December, we highlight a lot of things. There's a lot of awareness. So, a couple of things to keep in mind. Obviously, there is AIDS awareness happens this month in December. There is an actual AIDS Awareness Day that just passed. It was the first day of December. On top of that, we had Giving Tuesday this week. And so, Giving Tuesday highlights the opportunity to give to others, reach out to your community, support different organizations or activities or events that help the general community, people as a whole. And so that's a great opportunity to reach out, whether it be on a local or a regional scale, just to help other people to connect with others during this time of the year. Also, we have Persons with Disability Awareness Day, right? That was on the 3rd. That was on Wednesday, on December 3rd. There was highlights and events and awareness for people with disabilities. And so that's a good thing, right? We always have to remember those people who have, whether it be physical challenges or mental or emotional challenges. We'll make sure we remember those people. We talk about and have conversations about how can we support them, help them, aid them, be a benefit to their lives as well, right? So shout out to all the caregivers out there who, if you are taking care of a family member who has a disability, or you are partnered with a person, a friend who has a disability, man, shout out to you guys. Kudos to you guys for being supporting, loving, and kind, and always just sticking in people's corners. That's awesome. December 10th, this next coming week, right, will be Human Rights Day, right? And there's human rights is obviously it's an international. I mean, it is a national important thing to recognize, and so we do that on Human Rights Day. So we talk about and we bring awareness and we highlight how important the values and the rights of each individual person, which connects to us here at Life Solutions, right? Because we value, we appreciate you, we care about you. We're going to have these conversations for how you can take care of yourself and be the best version of yourself. Obviously, it's December, so man, it's the holiday spirit, right? And so these are very important days. This is a very important time of year from a spiritual standpoint. Thinking and talking about spiritual wellness, right? So obviously, it's Christmas, right? It's a spiritual holiday. We talk about Kwanzaa, we talk about Hanukkah. So those are all very, very important, monumental days, monumental moments from a spiritual wellness standpoint. And so we highlight those this time of year. So that's awesome. That's cool, right? So we're gonna do that. Wife's calling me, so let me check in with her in a second. All right, so here we go. All right, so also from a mental health standpoint, from a mental health awareness standpoint, the condition we highlight the most this time of year is the seasonal affective disorder, right? The acronym, it stands for SAD, S-A-D. So for our conversation today, we'll just talk about it, right? Because what is seasonal depression, right? And so we are aware of that. A lot of us know about it. Some of us even experience it. And so I just want to talk about share, right? So seasonal affective disorder is a mood disorder often associated with depression, right? And what it brings light to is that when the weather changes, when the seasons change, oftentimes from warmer weather to colder weather, then that also has an impact on our mood, right? So there are a lot of people who struggle with seasonal affective disorder, and so why? Why? What are the causes, right? So there are some very simple causes to it. First of all, biological, from a human biological standpoint, biology standpoint, oftentimes, genetically speaking, people can be predisposed, right, to when the weather changes and then there's darker days and less light, then that affects the serotonin levels of an individual, right? So what do I mean? What do you mean, Harold? What are you talking about? So serotonin is the hormone often connected and affects individuals' moods. And so when the light changes, when temperature changes, drops, there's less of, then sometimes those have a direct impact on a person's mood, right? So those are some of the causes, right? Those are biological causes for seasonal affective disorder. There could also be regional, there could also be actual geographic locational reasons, right? There are some regions, some parts of the world that really have difficult weather during this time. When it gets colder, the actual weather is much more difficult to brave. And so for some people, that is a direct impact on their mood. Think about places, regions of the United States, for example, where the weather directly impacts the mood of the people, right? You think about the Pacific Northwest, where the rain, the cold, the temperatures that drop, there's less light, that directly, the actual geographic location can affect the mood of the people. You think about places like Alaska, right, Antarctica, where there actually are people, right, wonderful people there. They are greatly impacted by the weather and the seasons change. So there's a biological impact, right? There's a geographical impact. So we can all look to, there's several different causes why our mood can be directly influenced by our external environment, right? So that's a part of it, right? So what are the symptoms? Symptoms. What can you look for within yourself? What can you look for in the people around you in terms of like what's going on, what's happening? Obviously, it's an affective disorder. So you could think about the mood, and if you can recognize a change within yourself, right? And maybe your mood changes, right? You can tell that because it gets darker in the evenings, right? And there is a longer extended period of darkness, but now, like during those seasons, your mood tends to change, right? What are we looking for in terms of symptoms? Like maybe you're more irritable, right? Maybe you have less energy, right? You don't feel as vibrant, as energetic as you typically would, right? Throughout the rest of the year. Well, it could be a sign, right, or a symptom of some form of a seasonal affective disorder, right? Also, what tends to happen, your sleep can be greatly impacted by seasonal affective disorder, right? Your energy levels can be affected because I'm not sleeping quite as good as I normally would, or maybe I'm sleeping too much. Maybe I'm having a hard time going to sleep, staying asleep, falling asleep. All of those changes can impact your mood, right? Along with other symptoms, signs of seasonal affective disorder. It could be your mood, your sleep. It also could be your appetite, right? You don't feel as that you're normally eating like you would or like you should. That could be a result of some other things, bigger things going on. Other things, cognitive, right? Your concentration levels. Maybe it's hard to concentrate at home with the kids. Maybe it's difficult. You're having a hard time staying focused, staying on track at work. Maybe it's memory issue, right? Maybe because of the weather and the seasons and the lack of light, right? The lack of sunlight. Like some of those things can also affect your memory. Generally speaking, that you could be in a place where you don't feel your best, you don't feel like you're operating at your highest level, right, your optimal level, and all of these things could be signs or symptoms of a greater issue that has to do with your mood, right? It can be some form of depressive state, right? Your emotional, mental self could be impacted in a certain way, right? So those are the causes of seasonal affective disorder. Those are also the symptoms and signs, right? So what are the implications, right? So what's the impact of seasonal affective disorder on an individual, right? So obviously there's the direct emotional impact, right? You can experience the highs and the lows that come with the changing of the weather, the seasons, the light, right? The conditions, the environment that you're in. So there is an emotional impact, right? A lot of times people with seasonal affective disorder can experience some form of depression, right? Where they just feel down, don't feel like them normal selves. They can isolate, right? That's a sign of seasonal affective disorder, right? So they can be a little bit on the isolated side, right? They can be less connected. Um, and so, emotionally speaking, they don't have the energy, don't feel as positive, as optimistic as they typically would. And so there's an emotional impact in terms of their mood, their self, their emotions, their energy, their spirit, the outlook, the optimism. It can play a huge role on a day-to-day basis during this time of year. There's also a cognitive impact. We talked about it, we shared it, right? So concentration, memory, just being able to make decisions, right? To be able to think on your feet, right? Just to be able to work through how you make choices, whether it's on a professional level or a personal level with your family. Your cognitive functioning can be greatly impacted by seasonal affective disorder, right? Along with that, obviously, there's a social impact, right? What do you mean by social, Harold? It's the people. So a person might be really typically upbeat, happy, positive, and then all of a sudden they are experiencing this form of depression, and then they feel a little distant emotionally from the people who they normally would be really connected to, right? Some of the activities and events and things. Man, normally I'm all in, I'm engaged, I'm going all out. And then now, don't quite feel up to it, right? I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be by myself. Um, the mornings may be really tough getting up, getting going, right? And so, oh man, I normally would get going, get my morning cup of coffee, talk to my friends, or reach out to my parents or a sibling, not feeling quite up to talking, not feeling connected. I don't want to go to that Christmas party or that event. I just rather be at home, stay at home by myself. So socially, the social engagement activity can greatly decrease during this season because the weather's changed, times have changed, the lack of sunlight, all of those things just play a huge part in how we connect and relate to other people. So what can we do about it, right? So those are the causes, those are the symptoms and signs, that's the impact, those are the implications of seasonal affective disorder. What can we do about it? What can you do about it to help yourself? I'm gonna be real practical here if that's okay, right? So what can you do? First thing is you gotta stay connected. Stay connected. I know it's cold outside. It's not always as easy to get back and forth. We got all these layers of clothing on to keep us warm. And it's easy to kind of distance yourself from people, places, things, right? Activities, from relationships. And so we need to do the opposite, right? Whereas maybe it's easier to operate and move around, in the warmer climate, the warmer seasons, right? The summer and the spring and the fall. Those are great times. During this time of year, it is going to be difficult. It will require you to be a little bit more resilient, a little bit more persistent in staying connected with people, staying attached to loved ones, staying engaged with your friends, even in work. You don't feel like socializing, to press on, right? Push forward and help yourself, right? Help yourself a little bit just by doing some of the things with people, friends, family, community, right? Thinking about the Giving Tuesday, thinking about outreach and helping people and doing all of, right? December is a time about people, right? Helping people, right? Give a little love, share a little love, right? And so doing things with people, for people, getting out of self, right? And putting a mindset on helping people, loving people during this time does wonders for your mood, for your attitude, for your mental health, your emotional well-being. So I always encourage people during this season when it gets cold, the weather's changed, it's a little gloomy, it's not as warm, there's not as much light. You gotta stay connected. Stay connected with people. Stay connected with people you care about and people that care about you. That's really, really important, right? Another thing I also stress during this time for your mental health, your emotional health, you got to make sure you stick to your routines. What works for you works for you. And so if you've been exercising and going to the gym all year, no, we got old man basketball once or twice a week. As we get older, it's tough, man. It's tough. We get up early mornings, 5:45, 6 o'clock, and we're out there playing basketball with friends, and we're being competitive, and it's helping our physical and our mental health, all those things. Guess what? That's a routine. It's a lot easier to do when it's summer. It's a lot easier to do when it's spring or when it's fall because the weather is nice. There's more sunlight. When we wake up now during this season in December, it is pitch black dark outside. It's cold outside. It's 30 degrees, 20 degrees, 40 degrees. So it is not always the most pleasant. Some people like cold weather. Some people like it. For the most part, it can be difficult. It can be challenging. But I've decided, I'm going to stick to my routine. I'm going to old man basketball about once or twice a week because I know that routine of self-care is critical for my emotional health, my well-being. So I'm going to stick to that routine. That's my exercise routine. If you have a self-care routine for going to get your hair done or going to get a haircut, taking care of your nails, or you're going to go get your massage, it is easy to opt out of those things, those activities. That's a part of your routine of loving on yourself. Now more than ever is the time to stick to those things because those are the things, those are the routines, the systems, right, of how you go throughout your week that are really going to benefit you and your mental health during this time. So I always say that your routine, your systems, your self-care, right, are going to be great for you during this season, right, this time of the year, the end of the year. Along with that, obviously, right, staying connected. Those social relationships, social interactions, really, really important for your emotional health, your mental health during this time. My last tip for you guys, right, for treatment, how do you help manage and deal with your mental self, your emotional wellness during this time, right, during this season of year? I'm going to say activity. Activity is good, right? So whatever your activities are, right, kind of your routines, being active helps, right? You know, it's kind of a scientific principle, an object in motion to stays in motion. This is the time, right, where you got to get busy. Not crazy, not hectic, not just running around with the gifts and the activities and what can I get for people. That's fine. That's a little commercialized, but not necessarily getting involved with the commercialization of the season, the experience, right? But more about the active part. I need to be active. Think about a bear, like they hibernate during the winter. Their activity levels go down, right? Their movement goes down. For us as individuals, as humans, we got to manage that. We need to make sure that we keep our activity level at its normal state or maybe even a little bit higher. So you're going to have to push through. There's going to have to be some resilience there, some stubbornness on your part that I'm not going to allow the weather or the lack of sunlight or how dark it gets or how cold it gets or how irritable people may be. I will not allow that to deter me from sticking to my routines and the activities that I know that make me feel good about myself, about my situation, about my circumstances. So you're gonna have to be a little bit stubborn. I know that's a little difficult, right, to hear from your guy, from your boy, right? Like, hey man, you want me to be? Yes, you gotta be stubborn to do the things that you know help you feel good about you. And so routines, activity helps get you mentally going, gets you up in the morning, help keeps you going when it's dark outside and you're ready to get off work and you're ready to just sit down somewhere and be still. Those things are important. But remember, it feels like it's 11 o'clock outside. It's only 7, right? So there's still more work to be done. So you got to be a little bit persistent, a little bit resilient in those moments to make sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally, socially. So that's my comments. That's my commentary. Those are my thoughts about seasonal affective disorder, about the causes, the signs, the implications, and also the treatment. How can we help ourselves? Obviously, right? Mental health is important. Your emotional wellness is important, especially during this season. So, at any point, if you feel like you need to connect with a mental health professional, man, do so, right? This is a great time to connect, have conversations with a professional, right? An outside third party just to make sure that you are on track, to be in a good place emotionally and mentally. So I always suggest that. It's always a good time. It's always a busy time for us mental health professionals, the time of year, and so we understand that, and we want to be here for you, right? We want to be available to provide support. So that's it. So December is here. It's also my birthday month. Hey, wish me a happy birthday. I am accepting all well wishes. I'm super excited, right? So, man, it's birthday month. December is here. Hey, it's almost football bowl season. Got a lot going on, right? So, just keep that in mind. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We are working really hard. I'm pressing forward, moving on. I want to continue to be more consistent with you guys, consistent with myself. And so I'm working, trying to grow and improve. So bear with me. This channel is growing. There will be more changes, more growth as I continue to learn about this whole YouTube thing and what that means for me and my outreach and bringing more awareness to mental health, emotional health for people. So yeah, we're here. It's December 2025. We're wrapping up. It's coming to an end. I'm excited about the opportunities that we got this month. And so that's the awareness part of it. Remember, this is the channel, Life Solutions. Like, subscribe, do the notifications thing. So the next time a video comes out, then you'll get that video. Stick with us. So we're excited. Just remember, man, enjoy this time. This is a time for celebrate. We have made it through the year. We're here. I'll be here all month talking to you guys. So if nobody else says it, I'm going to tell it. I'm going to say it to you, man. Hey, lady, I love you, care about you, and there's absolutely nothing you can think about it. Until next time, guys, you guys hold it down, and we'll catch up. We'll talk to you guys soon.